Hello, how you doing? It's MrDoTheMath here, and today we're going to talk about angle pairs, right? Yesterday we dealt with angles, and we talked about angles are two rays that share an endpoint. This endpoint is called a what again? Vertex, right? It's the vertex, right? And now what we're going to do is we're going to look at how multiple angles can be related and help us find out more information, right? And so we start off with the basic angle pairs, right? The first two, and those are complementary angles, right? And we have supplementary angles. All right, we have complementary and supplementary angles, right? Complementary angles are I would like to say two or more angles that equal 90 degrees. All right, two more angles that equal 90 degrees. Right? Supplementary angles, two more angles that equal 180 degrees. I really believe it's just two angles, right? Complementary 90, supplementary 180. And one way to remember this is like C comes before S, right? 90 comes before 180, right? So complementary angles. So for instance, if I had this situation and I put this there, this is angle A, B, B, C. These two angles will be complementary of each other, right? Because of this 90-degree sign, right? Alexa off. Even if I did something like this. So this was 30 and this was 60, right? These two angles will be complementary, right? So complementary angles don't have to be connected to each other. Supplementary angles, they don't have to be connected to each other. They just have to equal either 90 degrees or 180 degrees, okay? Now, this leads me to our next vocabulary word. They're called adjacent angles. Adjacent, right? Adjacent angles. Adjacent angles, they share a common ray, right? They share a common ray, right? So in order for them to be adjacent to each other, they have to be connected to each other, the two angles. So for instance, angle ABD and DBC are adjacent angles because they share ray BD, right? These two are not adjacent. They're not adjacent, okay? Everybody good with that? And this word adjacent will follow you throughout the year when we get to trig. But adjacent means they share a common ray. So those would be two angles that share the same ray. They share one ray. Okay. Let us go and let's see. Let's try to identify complementary supplementary, right? So if I had this situation here, if I had angle like this, and it says this is 122, and this is 32, and then I say this is 58, and let's say S, R, T, Q, and this is C, B, F, CBF, right? So, looking at these, do you have a pair of, can you find a pair of complementary angles here? Yes, sir, where?
SRT and CBF.
Angle SRT, that's this angle here, and angle what?
CBF.
CBF, right? So, SRT is complementary to CBF, right? So these are complementary. They're complementary because they equal 90 degrees, right? 8, 2, 0, 5, carry 90 degrees. These two angles equal 90 degrees. Everybody good with that? All right? Supplementary angles. Do we have any supplementary angles? Yes, ma'am.
TRQ and CBF.
Right. Angle TRQ is supplementary to angle CBF. Right? These two angles add together to equal 180 degrees. Okay? That's complementary, supplementary. So we got complementary 90 degrees, supplementary 180 degrees, adjacent, they share a side, right? Now let's look at some more angle pairs, right? We have something called a linear pair, right? Linear pair, right? In the word linear pair, what do you hear? What do you hear in the word linear?
Line.
Line, exactly. So you have a pair of angles that make a line. That's all this is. All right? So, pair of angles that make a line. All right? And if they make a line, that means they equal 180 degrees. That's it. Alright? So a linear pair, they make a line. A line is a straight angle. A straight angle is 180 degrees. So a linear pair will look something like that. Right? This is what a linear pair will look like. We good with that? Okay? Now, vertical angles. Vertical angles. Vertical angles, in my definition, are like, let's read what the book says. Vertical angle is they're two angles if their sides are two pairs of opposite rays. So you got two opposite rays, right? So vertical angles are, okay, we'll write it down, like two opposite rays, right? Two opposite rays, all right? And vertical angles are congruent. So they're two opposite rays and they are congruent to each other. For me, one way to look at it is they make some kind of letter. They make either a T or they make an X. Something like that. Some variation of a T or X. Right? So for instance, this would be an example of a vertical angle. Right? This angle here and this angle. These would be vertical. Right? They're right underneath each other, or they're above each other. And these would be vertical angles. Okay? And remember when I told you yesterday, like these marks here tell you something, right? These put these two together, and these double marks put these two angles together. Right? And because it puts these two together, that means that these two are congruent and those two are congruent. Okay? Now here's the opposite ray part, right? You got this center here, and you got this straight line. Right? You got this ray and this ray. They make a straight line. You got this ray and this ray. They make a straight line. Okay? And then here's the other thing. If you do away with this ray, you have what kind of pair? What kind of angles do you have here? What kind of angle pair is this? Linear, right. You got a linear pair right here, right? You got a linear pair right here. And you got a linear pair right here, right? So so when you're trying to figure out like angle measures and everything like that, they'll be related in some kind of way. They're going to be related either by being like supplementary, or congruent in some kind of way. Okay? Let's look at an example. Okay, so what if we had to do this? Let's say this is 5x and this is x. Solve for x. What would I do to solve for x?
Subtract. Oh wait.
Yes, sir.
Plus 5x equals 180.
Yeah. So you'll add these together and set them equal to 180. So x plus 5x equals 180. Why did he tell us to do that? Trent, why did he tell us to do that?
I don't know.
You don't know? Can you help Amani? What's the relationship between x and 5x? What kind of angle pair are they?
Linear?
Yeah, it's a linear pair. And linear pair equals how much?
180.
That's why we set it up this way. So these two angles are a linear pair, right? So you set them equal to 180, right? So we keep going, 6x equals 180. So then x equals how much?
30.
30, right? If x equals 30, then this angle is 30 and 30 degrees, and this angle is how big?
150.
150 degrees. We all good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah? Let's see if we got any more. Okay. What if, can we make it harder? Can we make it harder?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's try to make it harder. Okay. Alright, we got this situation here. We got any soccer players in here? No soccer players. It's okay. Alright, so we got this. So the picture looks like this. You got that little frame thing and you got the little net. This is a net in the box and he's kicking a soccer ball into it. Anyways, the most important part is like this ground and this incline of this net thing. They say this incline, this ground, this part here is 4x plus 8, I believe it says. 4x plus 8 degrees. And this part is x plus 2 degrees. They want to know the measure of this incline. Okay? They want to know the measure of this incline. Okay? What's the relationship between these two angles here? Alright, let's label B, C, A, D. Alright, what's the relationship between BCA and ACD? What kind of angle pair are they?
Linear pair.
They're linear pair, right? Since they're linear pair, they equal how much?
180.
Right, that's the sum of them, right?
Yes.
Because of that, then we can set this problem up how, Jalen?
4x plus 8. What was it? X plus 2?
Yes, sir.
X plus 2.
Uh-huh.
Equals 180.
Equals 180. Exactly. So you put these two together. Alright? Alright, so from here we combine our like terms. We got a 4x here and an x. It's 5x. Then we have an 8 and a 2. Plus 10 equals 108. We all good so far?
Yes.
Yeah? Then we gotta move this 10 over. Subtract 10 on both sides. So we have 5x equals 170. Divide. X equals what?
34.
34?
Yes.
You sure? I got somebody disagrees. 34, right?
34.
Yeah, 34. Alright, cool. 34. Right? So now we know if this is 34, we'll take this x and put it into here. So we have 34 plus 2, 36 degrees. That's this one. And then we have we could put the 34 into this and multiply and add 8, or we could just subtract 180 from 36, right? 180 minus 36, yeah, 180 minus 36 is what? 1 who? 144. Alright? 144. So that's the measure of this angle, and that's the measure of this angle. Okay? Do we have any questions? These are this angle pairs. That's it in a nutshell. Any questions? Pretty simple, right? Right? Two angles equal 90 degrees, they're complementary. Two angles that equal 180 degrees, supplementary. Adjacent means they share a common ray. Linear pair, two angles that make a straight angle. Vertical angles, they are two opposite rays, right? Or they make an X or a T, right? And the angles on the opposite sides of each other are congruent, right? And so that's it. Alright, no more questions? Alright, don't forget to like and subscribe. MrDoTheMath out.